let's start our feedback and cook our dish together. So, like to ask, what is it that you like about Coach One and Coach Two in this recording? Anyone would like to start first?
I think Coach Juan did a very good job in keeping the space open, and so she asked quite good question right from the beginning. And what prompted you to have this thought?
Yeah,
What is driving this need for change? And what is holding you back from actualizing what you
yes.
actually wanted to do? And so there was quite a fair bit of expansion of the balloon, and
Mhm.
I like the space whereby the client has the space to really just talk and be able to then list down the issues at hand, and it became very apparent
Mm.
that the client has already given quite a fair bit of thoughts into this, has spoken to different people, and weighing through the pro and cons. So already there are assumption made, if I may say that, belief been established regarding the decision for and the decision against. And so I think Coach One did a good job to be able to expand to that
Mm.
level. I'd like to also comment that Coach Two was able to drill down specifically as to the issues regarding the sense of belonging,
Mm.
and then tying that into the area of the self-actualization of the
Mm.
client, having that sense of achievement. And so
Mm.
through the conversation, Coach Two was able to draw out from the client that the sense of belonging, working together in the team, is really quite a key factor for her, even as she is considering this transition. And I like the question that Coach Two asked is that
Mm.
what I can't remember exactly how Coach Two put it. It has the effect of saying that. So what is then preventing you? If this is being clear right now, and then what will stop you from making that decision? So I think that helps the client to reflect back on all the factors
Yeah.
in consideration.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Kieran, for a great insight on the what works very well here. Yeah, I would say Coach Wan did an excellent job, in exploring the meaningfulness of the topic. At least not driving the conversation into an optioning process. you know. Yeah, but it's just open up the space, for understanding to emerge, and using that understanding uh to see what needs attention. Okay, so that is something I felt that it was very well done at that level. Okay, anyone else? Wow, what is it that you like about how Coach One and Coach Two do the coaching in this recording?
Okay, this is Joan.
Yeah, Joe, go
So
ahead.
yeah, so I feel that Coach One managed to um, make the client
Yeah,
talk about uh, I did the client did go into the inner feelings, okay,
yes. Mm,
and what is important to her,
yeah,
yeah,
precisely.
and the options. But at a certain space, I think the coach went in to
Hey, hold it
the two
there.
options.
Hold it there. Hold it there. What you like
Yeah.
first?
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So that was yeah. That space
Mhm.
was good. Was good
Beautiful,
for the
yes.
client.
I
Yeah.
really felt a non-judgmental, that
Mm,
not being evaluated. It
mm,
was really, it really felt like, hey, I'm here for you to listen. And I think
mm,
that whatever the role that Coach One had in the past, whether it be consulting or whatever that, it does comes in very beautiful, in the
mm,
coaching conversation where it doesn't feel that. No, it really felt that I'm listening to you in a very
okay.
non-invasive, asking you to justify, why are you thinking this way? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, hey, I'm curious. What's driving you? What's making that important? Very
Mm,
inviting. You know what I mean?
mm,
And plus the tonality, the pacing, it just make it so safe to talk about anything under the sky.
That's right.
So the core
So-
competency, trust and intimacy is very evident here.
And so there wasn't, the client didn't feel like, this is a recruitment talk.
Yeah,
conversation.
that's important. That's important. I think it doesn't feel like I'm the subject of discussion. Yeah, it really felt I'm here to voice out and put things onto the table, and then let's all look together, what is there on the table. A very thoughtful way, very mature way of handling a conversation with great respect and dignity given to the person who is talking. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for that.
And for the second coach, I felt that the second coach was very persistent in making the client think of another way of putting belonging, which the client has never thought of. And so it's really a actualization.
Yes, I think what I appreciating about coaching conversation is if it doesn't make sense to the coach, ask again. You know what I mean? Because at that space, I felt that in the recording right now, if I look back, what the client is articulating is something very deep, and it's very kind of like deep and not say muddled up, but it's just too much there, and it seems like the clarity wasn't very clear. So and honestly speaking, I'm not sure about the rest of the observer. If I'm the observer, I'm listening. So what is it? Kind of like, okay, what are you saying? You know what I mean? So if the coach is not able to understand what is it that the client is articulating, then, well, I think it's okay to ask the clients to, let's say it in another way, so that there is clarity for both the coach and the client. So I think that is a very important, a very good learning point that you highlighted.
One more thing is the 5 points that the client listed that is important to the client. When the second coach forced the client to think of these 5 things, then it becomes clearer that what is most important.
Yeah, which one is bothering up or confusing the clients, as the clients learn to be more objective that this is my personal and this is big objective, and putting that onto the table for the client to say, okay, how am I going to make use of this important information in terms of moving forward? Am I going to trust my personal things that is more personal to me, or is it that I'm more leaning towards being a lot more logical? You know what I mean? So we allow the client to see, but at the end of the day, it's the client who's going to make the decision. And what we as coaches do is to see it from a third person perspective and say, look, these are the things here. So what are you going to do about that? What's your thought around that? And the client then is being empowered right now to make a choiceful decision. What am I going to do about this insight? And in moving forward in making a decision, a process or a system in making a decision. Thank you for highlighting that learning. That is a very good observation.
Thank you.
How about the rest of people? What other perspective do you have in terms of what do you like about Coach 1 and Coach 2 in today's recording? Hey, hi, Vincent. Go ahead. Vincent, you're on mute. If you unmute yourself first. Okay, great. Go ahead, Vincent. Hello. Well, Vincent is figuring out.
I can go again.
Yes, go ahead, Laura. I would love to get your perspective.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Vincent, Laura, go. Okay.
Okay,
Vincent,
good.
you go first. Go ahead, Vincent.
I would like to say, first of all, that I enjoyed the conversation in that Delshi and Joan were
Let's
able to...
refer to the client and the coach, okay?
Sorry, client one and the coach one and the client were able to talk very smoothly in the early stages of the conversation.
Yeah.
And it came to a point when also Coach One, because of her sensitivity, was able to ask very good questions, which relates to, and I like the question is, so what are you listening to your own voice? I thought that's a very perceptive question to ask. And from that question, the client was able to open up quite a lot about her fears, about the sense of loneliness and so on. And I believe that this was a question that really started the ball rolling to a point where she was able to ask, what are the small steps that you were able to take after that?
Yeah.
And that also enabled the client to think through the steps that she was able to take as she related how she's going about that.
Yes.
So then, of course, at one point, how do you feel about your achievement? And the client was saying that she was feeling lonely, and that also what is critical to you too. These are all the questions I believe Coach One was able to come up with her effort to have active listening. And I thought that was something that came through quite well. But when coming to the conclusion part, Coach Two were able to ask the questions that make the clients spoke a lot about her own feelings and continually about a sense of she wants to be recognized and so on. But what is so significant was the last part in which those 5 questions, those 5 things that she listed that the Coach Two pointed out, I thought was already driving home to help the client to come to a decision as to which were the key points that will help her to decide to make the right decision.
Yes.
So I thought that was very significant. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for the insight. Wow, right now let's hear what Laura has to say.
Hello, everyone. I thought this was a really interesting session. You know, I so closely identified with this client who's facing an almost identical career issue that I am. So I was amazed by the degree to which, you know, by having a coaching hat on instead of being inside the client mind, it really heightened my own awareness of it. So thank you all for that. You know, my favorite thing about Coach One is she didn't panic, because you could see long pauses in there, and where you could see she was maybe thinking what was her next question, and she did not give in to the temptation to fill it with a lot of gobbledygook. She just let the silence ride, and I thought that showed like great presence of mind and the ability to not panic.
And Laura, do you notice that even there was one part where the coach actually noticed that she was asking the wrong question? Then she said, okay. And it was so beautiful that she didn't give up. And she said, okay, let me just rephrase that again. It shows a lot of self-regulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Self-management. So
and letting it flow is a very authentic process. You know? So yeah, she's not going to just ask a lot of hollow, empty questions. So that was great. And with Coach Two, it was that moment that the energy and the conversation totally changed when we got kind of at the root of the matter. And that was an exciting moment. Somebody wrote in the chat, wow, look at where it's going. And because it just, the energy of the conversation completely changed. So that was, I think it was the moment where Coach Two asked, if you reflect, what is it that's really important to you? That was a great question.
Yeah, I think the invitation for the clients to reflect. And I think so far Coach One has done an excellent job to draw it out. And I think with all of that great insight is coming, it might be good to just ask the clients to just pause for a while and reconcile her thought and say what is emerging. Because that was one very beautiful moment. I'm not sure whether Laura you pick it up. There was that one moment when the coach asked the clients, how do you feel about this achievement? And then the clients were saying something that was like, wow, I mean, she said, I do not know whether that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that was great. And she told, I noted that because she said I've been very busy, and she sounded very tired and dejected when she said that. And she said she didn't enjoy it as much as she thought she was, and she feels quite lonely. You know, and that was just fascinating to. Yeah.
There was great brilliant moments out there. I do not know whether this is the right thing. And I felt that if the coach would have do less of an optioning process, but as a way of inviting the clients to be connected to that thought, and ask the clients to expand out their understanding around that statement. Hey, I do not know. That means you do know something, right? There's something that the clients know there. So it's not like there was a lot of things there. And an invitation to discovery was, I think, will really make a great shift around. And I think what Second Coach offered is just a matter of reflection back on how things are making sense for you rather than how things is moving forward for you.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting too, because it was a little backward looking. A lot of the conversation was about the things that have done, but the future was kind of this vaguely defined sort of, you know, I mean, of course that's the root of the problem, because the client is stuck and not knowing which direction she wants to go in. But it was a little backward looking sometimes, and it had a tendency to fall back into that.
True, agreed. Wow, there's a lot of wonderful stuff here. Thank you, Laura, for the discussion. How about the rest of our guys? You're all busy looking at us yumming around our salad. So, join in the party and cook the dish together. Anyone else would like? Oh, go ahead, Nico.
Hi, I'm so sorry about the munching. Okay.
No, I
don't want to. I mean,
so I'm not referring to you.
Sorry. Echoing, you know, all the other observers, I don't want to repeat, but I think that I think that the both coaches displayed two strengths.
Yes,
the first coach expanded the space and very patient and letting the client pour out, and the client is not afraid to pour out even negative thoughts, you know. And apparently, I felt that the coach is trying to, if you're using a fishing again, trying to find the fish and trying to right window.
Agreed.
In fact, I think she has spotted the window has come. I think she was looking with the secretary to do with it, you know. And apparently the secretary, you know, won't let it go. You know, like, no, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is how I feel like. He knows exactly what he wants. He's not searching for it. He knows. So I think it's for the second coach. I realized that if you found something as a coach, don't let it go and just wash away. You know, like
Precisely.
That at least you check whether you're right or wrong. Maybe you'll find something. But if you just let it go and just go, oh, okay, let's talk about something else again, you cannot catch it, you know.
Precisely.
Open and close, right? The space, right?
Yes. Well, I think, Nico, you really make out a very good point here about being bold and courageous. You know, as if the coach said something or the coach from a third perspective saw something, I think it is therefore our responsibility to bring that up and let the clients own it, because change is not easy. Honestly speaking, to change is not easy. It requires that gentleness, but yet firmness, to just bring our attention to that spot where we just want to miss it away. No, just bring it back again.
And I think the second coach is good at, you know, sometimes what we tend to do is that when we spot something, we sort of say, oh, this is it, we will say it. But the coach is, you know, the tools is so good that he asks right questions so that the client says it instead of him saying, you should do this and you should do that. I think that's it's a skills that we need to learn, because sometimes even if we spotted it, we don't know how to make it happen. Like, what are the right questions to ask so that we actually get that from the client? Right.
Yeah. And I think again we can use right back to Coach One, just being very, very still, not very excited. I mean, when we catch the fish, remember the first thing we get very excited. Oh, we got the fish, you know. It just remain composed, you know, till the end. I think, yeah, that's the combination of both together. I'm absolutely agree with you. Wow, great discussion. If there's no one else who would like to continue on the cooking, can we move on to the second question? Great.